As chairman of the Williamson County Buildings Board Appeals Authority, I am calling the meeting to order. We do have business before us today, and we will start with a roll call vote. If each one of you will state
This
your
conference will now be recorded.
and whether or not you can hear the other members, we will get forward. And I will start with Ronald Crutcher, and I can hear everyone. Mr. Hughes?
This is Josh Hughes. I'm able to hear everyone.
All right, Mr. Adams?
This is Glenn Adams, and I can hear everyone.
Mr. Lee?
This is John Lee, and I can hear everyone.
And as of now, Mr. Schultz is not on. And I've called everybody. I think I have. In that case, I will turn the meeting over to the staff attorney to lead us through the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If there is no objection from the Board of Adjustment and Appeal members and subject to executive order number 60, let the minutes reflect that the members have determined that it is necessary that this meeting be held electronically to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Are there any objections? Hearing none, let the minutes reflect the board has made the determination to conduct this meeting electronically. I do want to remind the members that each vote must be by roll call vote. The chairman will call the names, at which time you will provide your vote. I also want to remind you that prior to making a motion or second or asking a question or making a comment, please identify yourself. I would like the record reflect that adequate public notice was given both to the home builders and to the public. Without objection, we will hear Crescent Homes, Drees Premier Homes, Ryan Homes, and the Jones Company. The first argument the appellants make is that they have obtained vested rights under the Vested Property Rights Act of 2014, so that lots at issue are not subject to the impact fee. The actual act provides that should a developer receive preliminary plat approval from the local authority, the development standards at that time that are in place shall remain the same through the course of the development. Appellant argues that the impact fee is a development standard, and therefore the impact fee is not applicable to these developments that receive prior preliminary plat approval. However, it is staff's stance that the definition of development standards provided in the Vested Property Rights Act includes standards and regulations concerning the actual developments of the property, to include local stormwater requirements, local construction standards for buildings, streets, alleys, curbs, sidewalks, and lot sizes. We also make the stance that the property can actually be developed without ever having to pay the impact fee, because the property is only taxed the impact fee at the time a building permit is pulled. Should the board find that the impact fee is a development regulation triggering vested property rights, we maintain that the applicant has provided no evidence that it received any approvals from the planning department or planning commission for the property at issue prior to the adoption and implementation of the education impact fee. Appellant's second argument is that the impact fee is required to be calculated on each subdivision. The proceeds received from that particular subdivision is required to be used on educational capital projects for that specific development. Private Act actually provide that the intent of the act was to grant the legislative body of Williamson County the authority to establish a procedure or systems to collect fees from developer on any new residential development, so as to require that developer to share in the burdens of growth by paying his pro rata share for the cost of public improvements generated by the new development activity. The act nowhere requires the county commission to establish new fees and new calculations for each subdivision. What it does provide is it gives them the authority to create the districts, whether it is one that covers the whole county or whether it is 10. This is a decision by the legislative body, and they saw fit to create two of them, one FSSD and one outside FSSD. For these reasons, Mr. Chairman, we ask for these appeals be denied. I will ask if there's any representatives from the appellants on the line. Hearing none, Mr. Chairman, we ask for these appeals be denied.
Okay, members, you have heard the position of the staff. Their recommendation is to deny. I will entertain a motion to act upon this recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, this is Glenn Adams, and I make a motion that we deny their appeals.
This is John Lee. I second.
All right, the motion's been properly made and seconded. We will vote by voice. Beginning with Chairman, and I vote to approve the motion with to deny. Mr. Hughes, your vote.
This is Josh Hughes, and I vote for the motion to deny.
Mr. Adams,
This is Glenn Adams, and I vote for the motion to deny.
Mr. Lee,
This is John Lee, and I vote for the motion to deny. And did we approve the minutes, or did I sleep through that part?
Nope, you're actually right. We'll do it after the motion.
Okay.
okay, the motion unanimously of those members present is voted to deny. The appeals are turned down. Now we will back up and deal with the minutes from the last meeting. They have been sent out ahead of time, and hopefully you all have read them. Do I hear a motion on the minutes?
This is Josh Hughes. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the minutes.
This is John Lee. I second that motion.
Motion's been properly made and seconded. Are there any questions or objections to the minutes? Hearing none, we will vote. I vote, Chairman, and I'll vote to approve the minutes. Mr. Hughes,
This is Josh Hughes. I vote to approve the minutes.
Mr. Adams,
This is Glenn Adams, and I vote to approve the minutes.
Mr. Lee,
This is John Lee. I vote to approve the minutes.
the minutes are approved as submitted. And turn it back over to you, Mr. Cook, to proceed on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We only have one more builder that has made their appeals, and that is Celebration Homes. They have provided no basis for their arguments. They provided no explanation was given on their appeal form. Based on previous appeals submitted by the applicant, the county maintains that the impact fee is not a development regulation or development standard, and therefore the vested rights do not attach to this lot. Further, the county maintains that it adopted the educational impact fee in accordance with the authority granted under the Chapter 120 of the 1987 Private Acts. There is no requirement that the county create new impact fee rates for each subdivision, and the proceeds raised must be spent in a manner that only benefits that particular subdivision. For these reasons, we ask for these appeals to be denied. I will ask if there is any representatives for this appellant online. Hearing none, Mr. Chairman, I will turn it back to you.
You have heard the position of the staff. And I would entertain a motion to deal with that position.
Mr. Chairman, this is Josh Hughes, and I'll move that we deny the appeal.
Mr. Chairman, this is Glenn Adams. I'll second that motion.
All right, the proper motion has been made and seconded. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Hearing none, we will go by roll call vote, beginning with Mr. Lee.
This is John Lee, and I approve the motion to deny the appeal.
Mr. Arnold,
Mr. Adams, you mean?
Adams, I'm sorry.
Whatever. This is Glenn Adams, and I vote for the motion to deny.
Mr. Hughes,
This is Josh Hughes, and I vote for the motion to deny.
this is Ronald Crutcher, and I vote to deny. The motion's been properly made, seconded, and voted on. Of all those members attending, the vote was unanimous. Their bills are denied. Is there any other business to come before the board?
We have no further appeals for you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, this is Joe Horn. We are scheduled for another meeting on November 5th.
Okay,
And the governor has extended has theoretically extended the authority to meet remotely. So unless something unusual has happened since then, we will be meeting in this venue in 2 weeks.
okay. Is there any other business to come before the board or any questions from any of the board members? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.